looking at what kind of aggressive plays Art has been cooking up, because you know he's in the kitchen there, always whipping up something new. And for a new map, I mean, what better place to start than looking at an Art demo, because you'll find out how can you really push the limits of aggression on this map.
Yeah, and like I said, that's where I think utility might help him, so we'll see if they have anything for it. We're getting into it right away. Dinko and Haka, take us through what is the best map in the pool.
While we're hopping right into it, I'm certainly enjoying Ence so far. I'm hoping we get to see more of it over and over and over again, but this is time to see Furia perform on Ence. It's a good start here from Casarado. I thought the Julies are about to get some action, but they're turning away. Ence are going to be walking back from A and out to elbow instead, Hawker. How disappointing.
A little bit of a shame, but who knows? Those dualies could come into play later. That's a solid shot from Furia. He's hanging around at mid, though, so he may need some assistance, and assistance has arrived. Vinny here to help. Furia trying to see if he can get back, and he's going to get out with another kill. Only Snappy left in a 1v5.
Well, let's see if Snappy can lay down some slappies on the Furia in this pistol. P250, definitely capable of pulling these kind of long-range shots off, but with how many players are there? Go around the corner, and that's going to happen too. He's got slappied, Hawker.
So I think that might have been the dualies. I feel like the USPs get the headshot kill there. Oh my god, Art's still just shooting.
Now, we did mention a little bit before coming into this, and it was touched on by Fulflaren on the desk, the fact that we did get to see Art play a map of Ence. It's not like we haven't seen anybody from this team play on Ence. And Art definitely had some interesting moments. Just individually, we see him be quite comfortable in some of those cheetah positions, you know, all these tight corners. He's very capable of using that up on the CT side. So I want to see if that continues into an actual official match setting for Art. I want to see if he can get involved. But he seems to be playing over towards the A site. So we're likely not see too much of that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. I wonder if for this round it's just because he's the one man with the premium rifle. We'll wait and see, because that pistol round was much more of a stack towards the site. In comes Furia, though, someone who's certainly capable of playing this spot himself. He's been traded out quite quickly, though. Vinny's got to make sure he doesn't give away his life too easily. Puts down a smoke to keep himself safe.
I think for Furia, you know, coming into a new map, when you've just added a new player, I don't know how deep their practice is going to be here on Ancient. So this is a great opportunity for them to test it out against Ence in a charity environment where you've just brought Honda in. There's a lot you need to work on, a lot of changes, etc., a lot of integration, figuring out how to get Honda to stop making some aggressive plays, really reining him in, showing exactly what he needs to be doing. So you've got all of that, and then on top of things, you've just got a new map added into the pool that you will have to play. So there's lots of work to be done here for Furia, and I'm just intrigued to see what they have been able to come up with. In this round, this could get a little messy thanks to that kill from Hades, because that kill opens up the chances onto the B side. Here come the smokes. Ence have invested quite a bit into this. Honda's playing on the edge of the smoke, and they think that smoke was enough. They got the kill over there. They threw the smoke down, but Honda just about getting one.
He did do some more damage, though, so the retake is slightly more doable. No kit right now for Furia, which could be a cause for concern. Quesarado will have to sit behind this smoke for a while. I believe it just got put here, so it may be down to Art to take the fight first. There's a hit dropped on the site, which will give them a bit more time, but Dotto comes through with his third kill. Finally, Quesarado trades, but he's got two different angles, two different players to deal with, and because of that, I think he's just going to back away, save this M4, and this is something you always have to be scared of on this CT side. Those Ts can just take fights towards B, and even with the D, there's a lot of fair fights you can take, a lot of headshots you can get that can open up the round like that.
Horrible scenario there for Furia, though. You always have this gut-wrenching feeling when one kill starts to come in on the Deagles and those four spies. You know it's about to be chaos. And I thought with Honda getting in front of that smoke, he was going to get away with murder there, because they had no idea. They had absolutely no idea there could be a player playing on the other side of that smoke. I think he definitely needs to get away with more than one. Unfortunate, but that's how it crumbles sometimes.
It was the FAMAS, man. It was the goddamn FAMAS.
Yeah, to be fair, we'll put it down to that. The FAMAS not the best gun in the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, he got one of the players down to 2 health, so M4 I'm sure would have done it, sadly. Honestly, even if he had...
A deagle.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, would an SMG help him there? Probably not. Ooh. I think Snappy slightly fluffed that molly. There's a little gap you can see here that Yuri's trying to work with. Nice nade onto Yuri, who's down to 30 health. And here comes some late round mid play, or some mid-round mid play, which I think is the best way to do it. Yeah. He was pointing that out on the desk, and it's working out for Ence.
And we've seen Ence do this against just NIP as well, because NIP had a lot of good utility. They had a good mid protocol on the CT side, so Ence on their T side just started slowing down the start of the rounds and taking mid into the mid round. And it works perfectly because you can then focus in towards B, and that's going to draw a couple of players away from CT. And I think Maui brought up the reasoning for that on the desk, as well as the fact there's not many positions you can really get comfortable in middle if you're a CT. So you eventually do have to drop off of it. But I like how it's playing right now in mid. I think I start to enjoy how it has evolved. And at the start I was questioning it, Polka, but it's evolved quite well.
Oh, Ence able to force the bomb plant in this very round. They lost 1 player in their take of the site, but with no kit on the server, Furia's chances of winning this round rely on early kills, and Dotto's got another nice lineup. Back to a 3v3, but Furia are taking too much time here. I don't think they can do it, and they agree with me. They're backing away again.
And backing away with an M4A1S, Kevlar, Deagle, Scout. It's not the worst scenario. Yeah, gets the AK whilst falling back out of the B site. And Ence, is it going to be a similar story as it was a Mirage? Fury win the pistol, but Ence come back. That definitely could be a similar story. Mirage definitely started falling out of the hands of Furia very quickly. They have to try and stamp out any of this early momentum from Ence, otherwise you could get an exact repeat from Mirage.
We'll be continuing to keep an eye on the setups from Furia because Art has started to switch up his positioning. He's playing mid now that he's got the scout in this round. Actually taking a bit of a gamble in this round on the Furia side with 3 players stacked on A. Ooh. Here is the only player towards B, so he's got to be careful. And that nade, I thought was going to do more than that. Only 7 damage.
Right now it's the right call for the gamble over towards A, but they've just called it off and sent the players back over to the B side. They seem to think it's the right time to go over, but it was the worst timing. But here comes the play from Ence just as they move away. I wonder if there was any noise pickup there from Yuri to call that rotation over. It would be kind of strange to see a full rotation like that unless you're just straight up gambling if you didn't think they were going into the B side. I think Yuri definitely heard some jostling, some positions outside, so they decided to go for the rotation over to the B side, probably at the worst time possible.
Oh, Donna's got him locked in.
Oh.
Completely trapped. 2 kills for the AK. He's had a nice, solid start to this game. Again, I think Dotto delivers quite a few impact kills. Maybe these ones aren't as impactful, but they're still very clean. Lovely work from Dotto. Not someone you always see towards the top of the board for Ence, but so far in this game, he's been getting pretty much every kill for them.
Yeah, Dotto's got off to a brilliant start. That's beautiful. Even though they are against some of the weaker weapons, maybe, but still just the skill. He does it in style. Has a little bit of panache to it. Well, we're going to get into round 5. And I did just want to add quickly that, you know, watching that rotation over, we have seen a lot of rotations start to come in on the CT side based on the sound cues you get in towards Cave. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Because here comes the attack. It's a quick one out from Ence. It's Art just holding to the back line. Somehow gets 2 kills out of that spot. And Yuri gets aggressive through Cheetah. The bomb has gone down over towards A. And it's just Hades looking to try and pull this all off. The Polish new edition. Can he find anything as he gets away with his life? He has found one, but would need a lot of mistakes to come through. But jumps up. I love that from Yuri. He's just so ready to take the peak, just aiming down onto Hades. And the quicker play from Ence doesn't work out. For off pretty much every round so far, it's been those slow starts, trying to force the rotations from Fury, keep them guessing, and then ending with a late round execute. But that was a much quicker play out of spawn from Ence, and it did not work at all.
I think that's just a great micro play from Art there, actually, on the hold. So he drops down that smoke in front of him when he hears that there's going to be a rush. And then because he just drops the flash into the smoke, it's actually really hard to dodge that. I don't think Ence would have seen that flash at all. So you see how many players get blind. That's a really cool way of Art just making it so that it's hard to dodge his flash, kind of masking it slightly. And that's, I think, what got him those 2 kills when you probably shouldn't generally get 2 kills from that spot. So I love that play from Art. I'm so interested in seeing if Art's going to push A a lot, because we know he likes to push. He's already starting to do it in this round.
And it's going to be similar as to how Dust 2 plays out, where you take the tunnels, control CT, get a lot of info, and start those flanks quickly through spawn. So I'd love to see how often Art can get away with that kind of stuff. You can also beat the T's on the timing there as well. So definitely intrigued to see how Art evolves out the A site. At the start of this though, Yuri going down is definitely a big loss for Furia. He's been great so far. So Ence have a man advantage in the hands of Ence on the T side, and now they're going to walk back up the ramp. Hades hope for an opportunity. In fact, no, just going to send Dodo, and I understand why. He's been incredible so far. Good headshot, but doesn't expect the cubby play. Vinny peeking out, getting a double kill now, ready for the third as well, but Art helps him out. Vinny realizes his magazine is empty, so switches out to the USP, and Hades now getting involved. All peers the reload, but he knows he can't cross safely. The confidence for Vinny to stick the reload due to having teammates in front of him, and a good peek from Art. Good timing to walk out close to the span through the smoke as well, but it's just a matter of time, surely. Before Snappy goes down, he would have to get the best opportunities, and 9 seconds left. Walks in to an ironclad crossfire, and it's a third round for Furia.
Teams have really got to start realizing that cubby position is just so strong. Yeah, or at least look towards it. Ence weren't even aware of it almost in this round. You see, look, Dotto gets the first kill and then doesn't react to the possible player swinging from cubby. It's just such a strong spot to play from. It's so hard to fully clear it out. I'm hoping that Ence figure that out as this half goes on, because otherwise I could see a lot of multi-kills coming in from that position. But for now, back to a 3-3 scoreline. Furia have bounced back quite nicely. And yeah, again, I'm surprised to see Art playing A like this. I know he's going to be AWPing, and there are long-range angles you can take, but I really thought he would play over towards B, where you can just get down and dirty.
I feel like that's just Art's paradise, right? You got all these little aggressive cubbies you can get into, be a real nuisance, get the timings on the ramp flanks through B. I definitely thought that was going to be Art's bomb site, but over on the A site, is where Art will stand. Yuri's taking damage, and here comes the A play for Ence. Katsurada over here with a rifle. Oh, he peeks out. Oh, he's kind of lucky to get away with one there. Looked like it was going to be an absolute nightmare for him. But getting one kill keeps Furia in the lead in terms of player count. Dodo's on the other side of the map right now for Ence, so Snappy has to hold down the fort alongside Spinks. And Dodo does get in towards CT spawn. Art is holding for some aggression, but he could go down to this flank from Dodo if he gets the timing right. That smoke's going to buy extra time for his flank to start to come through, and this might just be enough to get the round going here for Ence. Be enough to shut it all down. Art spotted, that's him down behind. Spinks quickly eliminates Vinny, and that's lovely. I love the utility usage, perfectly timed, slows down the retake attempt of Furia, and that's the only reason Dodo even has time to get in there, so beautiful round from Ence.
You know what I love about that lurk play from Dotto in that round? So we've all been talking about how hard it can be to get that bomb planted on A because it feels so open from those CT angles. If you actually lurk through B as a team, you can maybe use that to your advantage. If you can come in for the late round, for the post plant, and play from CT almost to watch that bomb that's planted so open, that could actually be a kind of cool way of trying to turn that advantage that should be a CT advantage into a T advantage. I don't think you can do that every round, but it's something that's nice to play with for sure.
Yeah, something else you can't do every round, Hawker.
Buy a Nova?
Buy a Nova.
Well, you can, I guess. Well, not the pistol.
You know what's something you shouldn't do every round? Buy a Nova. You know what you shouldn't do any round? Buy a Nova. But Art is through in towards A main. The cool thing about having a new map in the pool is we have so many opportunities for some theory crafting. Maybe it's time for the return of Anders' theory crafting. Maybe we can even do it with some skybox as well.
Dude, there's got to be some like 4-man boosts, maybe like towards B or something on the Polly's pocket or something. There could be something there.
The Polly's pocket, I love how that's a call. Rush was here, he beloved it, Hawker. Snappy on the double, that's beautiful. Mac 10, it makes money, it looks cool, sounds cool, it's a good gun.
Very cost effective too.
I wish you could just run around with just one hand though. That would be kind of like sideways tilted.
But then people would ask to dual wield Mac 10s. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, that would, especially in the hands of teams like Furia, Fours. Like these teams are just nuts in these SMG rounds. All plant starts to come in. Binks looks back and finds Honda. With Art, he's still here with his Nova. And I do agree with you in the fact that also having Art over on the A side is a little disappointing almost, because it is quite linear in terms of what we're going to expect from him, in terms of the aggression you're able to get away with. But also the A side doesn't often see as much action as you would see over on B. So Art isn't really going to be involved a lot of the time. And that is a little sad for me.
Yeah, I think if you take the blueprint from the first map we saw, for example, you see the CT setup from Furia has Vinny as the B site anchor, the position that's probably going to get the least action, the position where you're mostly focused on just holding one angle and being reliable. And that's how most teams are modeling Ancient right now towards A. They're seeing that as that anchor sort of site. So I really expected Vinny would be playing there because he is a pretty reliable player in those sorts of positions. And because we know what Art can do in some close quarters AWPing sometimes. I remember on Vertigo, I'll never forget the round where Art on CT side got run boosted down into B stairs with the AWP and just started fighting people before they could get to B stairs. It was ridiculous. Oh my god, and that's ridiculous from Honda.
Yeah, that is definitely ridiculous. Art now trying to get a piece of the action, and that's what we're talking about. The Nova getting involved. Yuri with the headshot. How has this happened? How has Ence let this happen? Furia getting kills on USPs and Novas and finally closed out with a normal weapon, but it was over already. Furia just push in middle and with USPs and one Nova walk away with the round win. Ence just need to scratch that from existence, scratch that from memory. That's a disgusting round.
Yeah, the hard thing for Ence there is Honda's playing on the edge of that smoke, which a lot of CT teams like to use now to play aggressively on mid. But then you also have Art on the closer angle. So they're actually just kind of combining their shots. And you saw Honda got an assist from Art on that first kill. So I think it was just the one USP headshot needed. At that point, it just basically becomes like a deagle. And then he's able to double dink the second. Still really well played by Honda to get those kills. That's what opened it all up. And has put Ence in this position where, out of nowhere, they could actually have some economy issues. It was feeling so good for them. It's feeling like they were making money. Don't tell me you can Zeus through that wall. Surely that's not an actual thing. Surely Vinny's just messing with me.
Please, though. Shouldn't be able to, right?
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really tested. That's something I haven't really thought about, is Zeus wallbangs. Art. Ooh. Gets a lot of damage taken. Not really a lot given out. But I like that he's not on the A site now. I like that they're changing up, trying to get him in towards caves. But Dodo tries to walk up, and that is Vinny. All reliable. You talked about it in the last round, and that's what Vinny can do for you. Another one from Vinny. And they know the AWP's there, but they need to get rid of it. And Hades luckily has the quick double, but Yuri back into the cage. And that's going to be 2 kills. Hades and Snappy both down. And Diha is left in the 1 versus 3. 30 seconds left, and he has to find this quick pick. Honda creeps up on the left wall. 5-5. We've tied it up. And Furia, they're given an opportunity in the USP round, but they stand tall in their 2nd round in a row.
I still like what Ence were trying there. It all comes down to this fight, though, against Vinny, because Ence put a lot of pressure into that cave position. They used the jump throw flash over the top as well, which I saw Maui Snake was pointing out Heroic using a lot, which can clear out that cave position quite nicely. So you put the pressure there, you bait the CTs into focusing on that, and then you can try and walk up B ramp and just take one of those fair fights, which are actually pretty good for the Ts in general. But this time, Vinny has an AK and gets the all-important kill, and I think that one kill really set them up well on the Furia side there. So I like the idea from Ence, but Well played by Furia to deny. And now we're finally going to get some action towards this A bomb site. And Furia look very well prepared for this. They've actually got 3 CTs very close to this A site.
One of them being the AWP of Art. And it's going to get one straight away. Caserado trying to back him up, and Honda does well to find Dodo, who was a little bit of a nuisance to the defensive Furia a couple of rounds prior in a similar scenario to this. Furia have only lost 1 player, and the rest should be cleaning up the rest of the Ence squad, and quickly that is done. 6-5, it's Furia into the lead. I have to say, after not seeing Furia on Ancient, this is actually not too bad. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time to figure out what works in an official environment, what players are comfortable with, but as things are going, Furia are adapting quite quickly, and really, I've been quite impressed.
They've clearly got a couple of tricks up their sleeve and a couple of the stuff that I think other teams are using, which is nice. Look at this round from Furia, though. They haven't even played anyone on that A site early. They've got so many players stacked on B. Part of the reason is because Caserado can play in Donut and hear any steps that would be going towards A early, and that means B is so well defended, including that AWP of Art, who's starting to have a bit more of a free role now.
That's what we want to see. When you watch Art as a spectator, you want to see him all over the shop. So great to see that coming back into play. And ever since they did that, it really does feel like Furia's CT side has just become much more potent. Hopefully that continues. Vinny, a kill from him. It's again, these stacks in towards caves are so difficult to break down, especially when you've only got pistols. And Ence trying to walk up, Art even trying to duel them with the deagles, giving them a chance. And while Hades loves the... Okay, 2 kills for Hades out of nowhere. I thought for sure Yuri was going to take him down, but Hades on a double kill has just turned it into a 1v2. And now he looks for Caserado. He might be able to find it. This is disgusting from Hades so far. But can he close it out? The mud pie of 4K. He could get it. Out to his left side, Honda's creeped up the ramp, and Hades has the right idea. But he's questioning it now. He's not 100% sure. Because of that, Honda might just be able to get the timing on him. Comes down to whether or not Hades is looking the right way at the right time. And Honda realizes he has the biggest advantage. He's got the bomb. Crossover. Comes down to whether Hades will spot him around the pillar. He's nearly quick enough to react, but Honda saves the day for Furia. Some of the most ridiculous deagle shots coming out of Hades, but it's not enough in the end.
My jaw genuinely dropped when he hit that 3rd shot. It doesn't feel like an angle where a Deeg should be able to get a headshot. 1st kill there. 2nd kill, okay. All well and good. This one. I've got to see it. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's such a tight angle, man. Normally you see AWPs holding that because it's just so hard to react quickly enough, but damn, Hades nearly making some magic happen. Not quite this time, though. Not meant to be, sadly. Oh god, Honda's pushing mid.
Oh, okay, we'll get right back into this because Honda has walked right through elbow. He spots the bomb in the back of Hades, and now multiple players in front of him. He only gets 1. Only 1 kill for Honda. That could have been much, much more, but here they go again, stepping up to the plate this time. Is it Lucky Winder number 2? It's going to be Caserado trying to go forward, but Hades this time is not going to be caught in the backside. He looks for Caserado, who does somehow get out of dodge, and the rest of his teammates are falling around him here, friends. It's Dono and Hades trying to pull the round back. They haven't really been left with many other options but to try and come into this A site. Some utility thrown out by Hades. I'll even flash into CT. And now creeping on the smoke, it's Art who's ready. But Art misses the shot, and that's going to give the chance for the SG to come rattling on in. The slow fire rate chugging away. And suddenly it is doable if he gets this quick kill, but he couldn't find it on Vinny. It is still a winnable round for Dodo, but very unlikely. It's extremely difficult to pull these kind of rounds off, especially with that missed timing. Yuri's about to get in behind him. Easy headshot from behind. And hit rounds from Furia. And it's that mid-push. I just love these kind of plays in Furia. You just see Ence are trying to play their own game. They're trying to go early in towards A, set up some utility, play slow start. But you can't do that when there's a player right behind you.
So stifling, isn't it? Those are the sorts of plays that teams would used to say in scrims, oh, why are these guys not playing seriously? We're not getting proper practice. They'll never play like this in the real game. Well, Furia play like it in the real game, all right? And that's even with Honda probably underperforming when he could have got those 2 kills. They still make it look very easy. Nice flex from Furia. Who needs an AWP when you can get an auto shot, he says Art.
You do get a variety with Art, that's for sure. You're never bored watching him. You can never complain about the game being stale when he's on the server. And they do love the Krieg, actually. Play on the CT side, so we'll see if Vinny can use that range to his advantage through the smoke. Doesn't even need to see his opponents. Diha hits the deck alongside Snappy, but Spinks been quiet to start Ancient. He's going to try and dive through with a Tech 9 hit. He has arrived to the party a little late, but he has got a kill. And Spinks, I did say he had been quiet, but now he's even dropped his score further. He's just killed his own teammate.
That's a shame. He'll have to live with it, though.
Yeah, and the worrying part is, how often do we see Dha play really well for Ence on Ancient? Quite a lot. How often do we see him play well full stop for Ence? Pretty much all the time. And he's down in 1 kill, so this has been definitely not the best start from Ence.
I thought he'd be so good at getting those fights on the B site where you can just take straight up aim duels. It's not been his day today, though, on this map. Here come the mid fights, so extended, but it's Ence who come away with a 2 for 2. Yuri goes for more, but it's into a 2 versus 2 now after all those trades on mid. And this is where Furia, with 1 minute 30 left in the round, basically have no clue where Ence are going to be going here. This will be a hard one to read.
It's the quiet walk up into the B site, and Vinny has been impeccable on the hold here. We'll see if he can do it again. They're playing contact, and they can focus on Vinny's position. But will they be ready for him to emerge from around the corner again? He gets out, he gets 1, he couldn't quite double up. So now for Dha, quiet into the start of it, but this might just be the explosion that you need. He's got that trick kill on Vinny, and he looks for the clutch against Art. The AWP lies behind the boxes. Dha not going aggressive. Art is waiting for some aggression. He's waiting for that mistake to come in, and Dha will not budge. Comes down to the timing. Is he looking the right way? He will turn back. The headshot's there for Dha, and that is the explosion to close out the half. Ence get a 6th round. It's not ideal, but it's certainly much better than just having a measly 5.
Nicely played by Dha at the end there too. I think a lot of players would push all the way through to the backside of Square and try to clear it out entirely, but I don't think that's the best play there. I actually think the way that Dha realizes he's in a really good spot to watch for the bomb and that he can just look between both sides. It's a smart decision by Dha, pays off for him in the end, and now we've got a competitive game on our hands. 9-6 at the half, Snappy already having to fall back, and he's not going to be able to do so safely.
Don't get away with anything free, and nothing picked up yet for Ence. Every kill for Furia has come through so far. It's Honda and Vinny working in tandem to secure the bomb. Plant onto the B site, and for Ence, they've got to figure out this retake attempt, and it might not even get going. It might not even get anyone near the site, and they won't. Just every kill for Furia. Clean pistol win for the Brazilians. I'm loving this Ancient performance out of them. I don't think Ence were maybe expecting such a resistance coming up into this one, but it's always difficult when you're going into a new map like this to really know what to expect when you're playing against teams, and especially Furia, probably the most unpredictable team, top team in the world, shall we say. So it's quite hard to know what is going to come your way when you pick Ancient up against them. That's when you just have to be confident in your own abilities on the map. And I have to, what we've seen from Ence, personally, you and I casting Hawker, it's not like they were the cleanest, most comfortable against NIP. NIP were just kind of, I don't want to say throwing, but they were throwing. So in terms of the force buy scenarios, I don't know, their economy was not looking that strong. So yeah, I don't know. This is, oh, Snappy. 2 headshots. Vinny and Yuri just go down before I can even finish my point. The Deagles have come and struck gold with 3 kills on this one. Furia, Honda, and Caserato are in a 2v5, and this might just be the lifeline that Ence need.
Ooh, long range. The MAC-10 gets a headshot, but not going to be able to do much more. Just 39 damage dealt to Snappy, who's absolutely fine with that. Honda's trying to test the waters towards this A site. Right now, it's looking still, it's looking calm, but there are some players close by. Diha's holding this angle from Donut. Pretty strong position to be in. You can always tuck back round the corner if you need. And oh, it's his teammate who comes in for the kill and leaves Queserato in such a hard clutch. Even getting the bomb down is hard now.
The bomb plan might just be the best case scenario as well. And here for Queserato, giving him chances. He just hasn't been able to get a single kill from them. And once the time begins to tick on, those chances begin to dwindle with it. And Dodo with the headshot secured. Ence come back again. How many times have they done that? How many times have they lost the pistol but won the force bite? Kind of getting ridiculous. They've done it twice now, Hawker. Here on Ancient.
Such nice shots from Snappy too. Adjusting onto the second player, both with their back turned. Now we do have a game on our hands. It was that CT side for Ence that was so potent for them against NIP. Although, as you pointed out, definitely wasn't NIP playing at their best. But here comes a potential B rush from Furia.
Oh, Snappy trying to run through and towards Cave. It's Vinny who's taking his own teammate out, but the B plays quick hit from Furia. Dodo can't handle the pressure. And somehow, Furia back into this one with a swing as well. These pistols are so strong. These quicker plays, allowing opportunities to the weaker purchases. And luckily for Hades, he's been able to find that kill that draws it back into the 3v3, and Furia have taken significant damage. A lot of them are low, and Yuri was the player with the most health, and he's out of play quickly. Queserato's got an 8k though, and you can't really put a stop to him that easily, but eventually they will get those kills, and Ence will win the round. But for Furia, they get 3 kills and a bomb plant out of it. Money's still not good enough. They would have liked the round win now.
Not a bad round for them. You can see even with the Tech 9s and the pistols that these B plays can be quite deadly with the fast pace. A little slow on that smoke towards Square, and as the time ticked on down, once those smokes faded, Ence had pretty good positions to come back into the site. Art has spent all of his dollars, every single one of his dollars, all 3,000 bucks on an SG without armor. Okay. Not gonna question it.
Art just really makes the mind boggle, Alex, I think is the phrase I can use for him, because he is just different in every way. We love what makes Art unique. Molly out for the CT side. They maintain cheated control, and just also in doing that, allows the CTs to feel a bit more comfortable in mid if they desire, but they're giving that up to Furia. They're letting them have mid. They're being kind, giving them something. An Art making that SG work. The glass SG. Now, we don't often see that, but let's see if it's the new meta. Queserato runs onto the bomb site. Hades had a good angle and repositions back. He's got his teammates to try and assist him, but he has to be careful of Kevin. Off, and he runs out somehow, some way, gets away with that kill, but Dodo more than makes up for his mistake and takes 2 players down with him to the grave. And now suddenly a 2v2, but for Furia, this is a much better scenario to be in. Ence should not have let this happen up until this point, and Art is still alive with that glass SG.
Oh, and he's going to have to win the round. Nice headshot onto Diha, but now Spinks knows where he is. He's got the flash at the ready. Art can tuck away from it, look for the kill, but finally the aim punch comes back to Costa. Without that Kevlar, as soon as you take damage, those bullets are going to start to fly all over the place. And for Art, I think that's what cost him at the end there. He got the headshots initially on the other fights, but that last one was one too many. I'm surprised he was scoped in and just going for the entry too, which means he had that slow movement speed. Just got the timing really nicely. Brought it into a winnable position, so can't count Art out. And actually, because Art got so many kills in that round, he's given himself enough extra cash to still get an AK into this one with the bomb plant too. So it all works out.
It does, and you know, that's why you don't question what Art does. He can make the most out of anything, and that Molotov is not landed for Ence, and that's going to allow Vinny to quickly run up. They have to get these kills quickly, and Vinny taking to his opportunity presented to him, and Vinny nearly gets a third kill. Donut tried to pull a flashbang, but he wasn't ready for how quick Yuri was going to be in getting in behind his teammate. Luckily, Hades has been reliable time and time again for Ence. He's got another important kill, but now he's going walking. He's walking forward into the site, and that's too much. He'll go down to Caserato. And Diha get a big round to close out the first half. More is asked of him again. He hasn't quite been hitting the numbers we're used to seeing from him. But he knows there's an AK in the smoke. But the time is ticking. Diha needs the quick kills. He goes for the first, but Yuri has wrapped around from Cave. He stood there once, but now back on the ramp, and Diha sticking the bomb, but Yuri sticks it in his back.
Nice round from Yuri, going all the way around, I suppose. Really nice play in the post plant to get that, especially once you put that smoke down. I think he realizes that's going to buy that bit of extra time. Diha's not going to be able to push in instantly, so he can afford to get away with the flank and outplay his opponent. Really close round again, but Furia find it. Feels like Furia have been trying to exploit that B bomb site too. The majority of their play has ended up towards B so far. Now they're up against the pistols. They're happy to go for the mid control though, and those two smokes early help them get up mid. I still hate walking into this mid position with these two cubbies, but I guess at least Furia have two players to watch for either side.
I just hit all the cubbies. I hit walking into any of these corners, any of these tight choke points. You have to be so ready for anything. When you double stack, it's hard to break it down. Art's the head of Hades, who has been really solid so far for Ence. One of the best parts about their Ancient so far. But once again, Vinny gets the double in towards Cave, and he's very good there so far over the last couple of rounds. Under a minute in play, and the bomb has taken the B site. Eventually gets planted as well for Yuri's more advanced position. And Diha, he's coming over from CT spawn, trying to get the angles, but the peak was always coming from Yuri, and not even needed in the end. Because Honda's good enough to get that frag, and Spinks now spotted, realizes, gotta get that AK out of there, I'm gonna run away. And back into Donut is where he'll look. Has been a quick rotation out to the ledge from Furia. They're trying to find him. They're sending Honda off, and Vinny is holding for some reaggression into middle from Spinks if it is to come through, but it looks like he will get that AK over into the next one. But Furia are really impressing here on Ancient. And they're up to 12 rounds now.
Good mid control early. Hades did miss that opportunity, which was a shame, but Spinks was able to get a kill towards mid. And as you pointed out, a couple of rounds now where Vinny's been able to get multi-kills into Cave that have made the difference for Furia. That forces Ence down to almost no investment. Diha's actually dropped a dig over to Hades. Oh no, Spinks dropped one, I guess that he saved. And then Diha's going to get one of his own, while Spinks has the saved AK to work with. And he's going to try to use it towards mid early, where Furia have put a lot of their players.
Furia leaving their options open by taking mid-control, but Spinks on the AK realizes there's much more pressure on his shoulders to be able to do something, but you cannot do anything about that. Art is so damn quick on the Krieg. Unfortunately, Art couldn't get away with another one. And Snappy on 2 with the AK. Bomb plant starts to come into the B site. If Hades can find a weapon, there could have been a chance there, but with Snappy going down, Hades' chances are much more limited. No kit, no Kevlar, no utility for this retake attempt. I think it's probably best he just tries to get an exit if an aggressive Furia player walks into him and save that Krieg into the next round. But it will be 13 now for Furia. Here in this semi-final, they want to head into the grand final, but before that, obviously they've got to get a map win here. Their map pick did not go well over on Mirage. That's why we're here on the second map of Ancient with Ence. We thought we'd maybe here for the 2-0, but that map pick is not off to a great start at all. And maybe it might not close so well either.
Nice little note on this Sphinx swing. I love that wide swing actually to the left side there. I think he's not exposed from the players who have gone out towards mid, and he can just swing out onto the players who are coming through from that sort of cheetah area towards mid. So that's a really cool angle to take from Sphinx actually, to just focus that 1v1 fight, to turn it into a fair duel instead of fighting all the Furia players at once. Didn't lead to anything though, and now Ence have got to make sure they can pull off something in this round, otherwise they're in trouble. Early mid play comes through again, and Furia have been finding their way through mid in these recent rounds. Normally you just get caught in that choke point and naded to death, but Furia are finding the control that they're looking for.
Snappy's had some really incredible rounds, just playing great individual skill. I would love to see another one out of him. A very important position on the CT side, playing in those caves. He's trying to use the scope of this SG to get a good angle. There's a lot of presence here for Furia, and I think they're all posted up. Oh, that was the big chance for Art, but Hades just takes his head off. Art getting a little taste of his own medicine. He was doing that to the defense in the last round. Now he feels the wrath of the headshot.
Showing us what that CT side SG can do. He's going to try and take that same fight in the previous round, but this time Yuri's ready for it. Snappy, though, in the K position, could set up the trade for his teammate, but Dotto gets traded out by Yuri. Another great shot, close quarters, but the bomb's going to get to the site, and Yuri's one step ahead of Diha. The awareness to be ready for that angle is brilliant, and it leaves Sphinx in a must-win clutch.
No kit for Sphinx here. I'll start to walk up the B ramp, but that time will be ticking. He has got some utility to make this a little more doable for himself, but he would need a quick kill. Out to the right side, it's Vinny. And Sphinx realizes it's probably best to just back away from this one. I've got quite a bit in my backpack. So, save that over. In doing so, once again, you're just giving another round here to Furia. And now they're only 2 away from closing out Ancient, 16-9. Now this continues, and you'll be quite disappointed if you're Ence. Very impressive Furia. You know, this is a great first step in the right direction for them.
Downside for Ence is there's no way this will be a perfect buy, but the upside is there are positions where that MP9 of Snappy could play, that MP9 of Dotto. They could find closer range fights, but they may have to crash out of this map without another full gun round if they lose this next one. Art holding for any early mid-aggression. Vinny's taken a lot of utility damage on his attempted play up through towards Cheetah. DR pushing all the way in on A. May allow his teammate to rotate off the angle, but it looks like Diha will fall back. Both teams just feeling out each other across the map early.
Oh, and now the duels start to come in. Cave has been a huge point of contention, and now A-main as well. No one really winning the battle on A-main. Art gets away. Utility deployed down from Ence, but it is going to be Honda that has made the biggest stride. He's in towards top middle, and Sphinx is watching for this and dishing damage out. Finally gets the kill. That could have went either way, just down to the final bullets there. A whisker from death. Sphinx gets his kill, and now Yuri goes in towards top middle. D has been taken down to 6 HP. This is a 4v3, but if you're Ence, you're so close to just toppling. 3 HP on Dodo, 6 HP for D has, 17 for Sphinx. So many of these kills could have went either way at the start of this one. And Furia might just go with the strength and the numbers mentality. They're going to leave Yuri for those late lurks. He usually pulls these off most of the time. We'll see if this double push to the cave might work out for Furia. Maybe Art leading the charge, but with limited time, they're going to smoke off the left side. Molly deep. Dodo will be the player that could end it all. The MP9, the first point of contest, but the flash is perfect. Yuri's flank working out as well. Just hold to those rotations. Bomb starts to come through, and Sphinx cannot deny the plan.
so close to it, but now it's going to be so difficult, especially as Spinks is dealt with on the site itself. Hades is not close enough to the action to win this one, and he knows it. He's already starting to slink away. A couple of really close moments in that round. I'm glad that Furia had that flash, though. Specifically designed, it seemed, for the player in Cubby. Couldn't turn away from it in time. That's what got them that bomb plant so much more easily. They used their utility to make sure Spinks can't help his teammate either. And Hades doesn't even get a chance to use his AWP. He has to save, and he has to concede 15 over to Furia.
I don't think they just use their utility. I think they become one with their utility right there. That was unbelievable how every piece of utility just worked to perfection in the final few seconds. Great mid-round call from Furia. You love to see that kind of round come in. As a Counter-Strike spectator. But as an Ence fan, you hate it so much because that looked like an Ence round all over. But here we go. Round 25 is Furia. One away from sending us to the third. On utility down into mid. It's again a quick protocol for that mid control from Ence. Diha holding off some of this early aggression from Furia in towards A main. The bomb is currently lying outside of A main. But it's the fight in middle that's come out first, and it's Honda that's won it.
4 more for Furia to take us to a third. Oh, ouch. Snappy's already got one back, though. Vinny finally bested towards the cave area. Lark smoke coming in from Queserato. That will deny the vision of Diha.
This rotation as well. Another player away from the B site and just leaving one there for Ence. And now Furia start to gather over here. This could be the worst timing for the rotation.
They may rotate one back as that smoke fades that they have towards B. That might have been part of the reason why they were so willing to risk it, but I think Snappy may just stick around, actually. He's so scared of mid right now. Finally, one of those A players is coming back to cover off that mid play, and now that they start to hear some nades, I think Ence may rotate back in time, but it's still just the MP9s.
Yeah, Ence definitely being helped out by the fact there's so many corners you have to clear out for Furia. So all that utility telegraphing their play to the B site, so at least get the player back over here. But like you say, it has to be a huge hold from just these measly SMGs. Dodo's playing on the edge of the smoke, waiting for it to fade away. He's going to get aggressive, the flash, and effective, but the second one is fantastic, and they're now being pushed from 2 fronts, and Honda gets in behind. Dodo was distracted and didn't get a single kill. Furia leave it down in the final seconds again, but will they get the plant? That's the question. Snappy so close, but no cigar for him. The bomb plant comes in, and Furia stand with the man advantage. The time ticking, Honda peeking out, Queserato getting kills, and now it's just down to the Polish AWPer. Hades looking to save the day, but he can't do it. Queserato with the headshot. 16-9 win for Furia. Not a bad start here on Ancient. I'd love to hear the analysts break this one down, and that's exactly what we're going to get to hear.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to attempt to do. Thank you so much, Dinko and Haka. Yes, we are, going to try. I mean, this was what we thought was going to be Ence's map. They played it so well in the group stage. Sure, NIP, they kind of goofed around a little bit on this map against them, but then and they also had our Lord and Savior Rolf playing. But then they also beat Mount Sports on the map, who have played it 3 times up to that point in officials. And Furia has never played it, yet they looked the better team, and it seemed to just be a lot of mismatched duels. There wasn't a ton of tactical prowess coming out from Ence's T